another episode of Two Guys on the Mic. I'm Scott, and we actually have a full house. Matt has been found, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing. Matt,
I just, you know what? As one of the guys in Two Guys and a Mic, it's great to have a guest that shows up, you know?
Yep. Matt, nice to see you back from your surgery. How'd that go?
No, I just took a month-long vacation, you know.
Yeah, because you got a manjana.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
No complications?
Sabbatical.
No complications?
No, still recovering.
But anyways,
From the pounding or the surgery?
if you're not subscribed, please subscribe below. Today we're gonna freestyle this episode once again. Some of the stuff we're gonna talk about, you know, some of the playoff scenarios, probably some coaching changes that are gonna be coming up, and stuff like that. But first, I know we're a little late on this topic, but we're gonna get into that Dallas Lions situation that happened at the end of that game. Which one of you guys want to take this first? I kind of want to hear you guys' opinion before I jump in on this. Yeah, Tony, you want to go ahead? I know Tony's a big conspiracy theory, but I will say this with Tony.
Don't listen to him.
No, professional betting has ruined sports. I do believe there is some.
100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. You know what? Matt, take it. I gotta formulate my thoughts.
Yeah, welcome back, Matt.
Take it, Matt. I'm gonna formulate my thoughts for quick. But I have now that you freaking Scott, you put the freaking nod to sports betting in there, and now I want to say other things, but I gotta hone it in. So Matt, go ahead.
So the Sacramento Kings are playing. Nah, just kidding. Wrong sport.
Oh, God.
No, it was like Scott said. That is true. I think betting, sports betting, has kind of swayed. You know, like games here, games there, as far as like refs calls and everything. It was just a bad call. The guy reported eligible. You can blatantly see it. Ref walks away, and I didn't even know this. I read an article, and that prior to the game, the head coaches notify the refs of who is going to be in what plays, and we will report eligible or something like that. I read something to that nature. So it was just bad. It was bad all around. Bad look for the refs and everything, and especially in that pivotal of a game and where the game was at that time. So it was a bad call, man. It was horrible. Honestly.
Yeah. So Matt, to go on with what you were saying, Rex Ryan actually broke that down. He was saying actually before games, the coaches go over certain plays with the rest, trick plays or whatever, situations like that. And actually they go as far as drawing out the play for the refs. So they understand what's going on. So from what I understand, what ended up happening is that ref admitted that he thought number 70 walked up to him. Because if you see the picture, you see 68 and 70 both walk up to the ref. Ref's head was turned. He didn't even acknowledge which guy was talking. He thought 70 had reported to him. 68 reported to him. So when they went up to the line of scrimmage, you know, that's when the ref had told Dallas that 70 had reported eligible. But when you look at how they lined up, 70 didn't even line up as an eligible receiver with the formation that they ran. So right off the bat, that they got it wrong just based off of that. But but at the same time, the Lions actually only have themselves to blame for that loss. At the end of the day, they had 3 chances to hurt. Because the second
they did.
And let me tell you, once this went back to 7-yard, a 7-yard 2-point conversion, they should have gone for the tie. I think that was really stupid of Dan Campbell to be like, "Oh, we're on the 7-yard line. Let's not go for the tie." His defense was playing good. The offense, I felt, was moving the ball towards the end of the game. I think they would have been fine in overtime. But yeah, once it went back to the 7-yard line, at that point, to me, it didn't matter anymore what happened, even though I still, Lions should have won. But we never know what the outcome of the game could have been, because I think that was just a bonehead coach move, and I think he was being arrogant with like, "Yeah, we got this."
Yeah, no, I completely agree with what Matt was saying, but at the same time, I think that when you look at the call itself, there has to be some consequences for the refs. Like, oh, they're not going to coach in the playoffs. Who gives a fuck? Like, I want that guy to fucking lose his job publicly, or something has to happen. He's suspended publicly, because right now
or be dropped from the head ref down to a line judge or whatever.
No, that has nothing to do. No, that's not enough, Mike. That's not enough. Because how many times over the past few years have we seen not just bad calls, but blatantly wrong calls? And it's not, everyone talks about NFL
pivotal times.
Yeah, in super pivotal times. Everyone talks about the NFL officiating has its ups and downs, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's bad, it's good, sometimes, whatever. It doesn't matter if it's bad or good. It doesn't matter if they make the most crucial calls. And the NFL is going to lose respect.
Like this? Like an index card?
Yeah, exactly like an index card. What the fuck was that? Like, we know the bad end of that. The Niners know the bad end of that. Like, it's a matter of whether they're right or wrong, shit's going to happen. They're going to see stuff. They're going to miss stuff. It's going to happen. But there needs to be consequences that are like substantial enough to not lose the respect of the fans that make the game. Like, they wouldn't play NFL if the fans didn't go to watch them or didn't play fantasy football. Like, the fans make the NFL. And if the fans are losing respect for the game because you have people who are calling the game blatantly wrong, and the guy, like you said, Scott, he's admitting it. And then people bet money on this. Like you're talking about sports betting. It has major sports betting implications. Those people just shit out of luck when the guy stands on TV and says, oh, I heard wrong or I saw wrong, whatever. Okay, then is he responsible for paying all those people who lost all that money? Can I sue him? He admitted to being wrong.
And here's the other thing, too. So that game actually had bigger consequences as far as seeding went for the Lions, because what ended up happening is because the Lions lost and the Eagles lost and the Niners won, they locked up the number 1 seed. So now the Niners, they can go ahead and rest everyone this upcoming week. Had that call stand, the Lions won, Niners would still have to win this next week to have the number 1 seed. It would be between them and the Lions. If the Lions won and the Niners lost to the Rams, which the Rams have been playing hot. They've been playing really good. And that's a divisional game, and you never know what happens. If the Niners lost and the Lions had won week 18, the Lions would actually be the number 1 seed.
And the Niners. Do you think that would have impacted the Niners?
Huge, because they would have.
Not play McCarthy.
McCaffrey.
I say McCarthy.
Yeah, they're holding out McCaffrey right now with that calf injury, which I think is smart. But had it gone the other way, they would have had to play him.
Yeah, and now Detroit is only going to have 1 home game.
No, look, you do not play McCaffrey, Mike, with a mild strain.
No, you don't play McCaffrey.
Already in the playoffs, you already have the division. The Niners proved they can win on the road. I don't think anyone really can beat the Niners in the playoffs. I don't care if it's at home or on the road. You rest McCaffrey no matter what. Like, that guy is your bell cow, and you got to give him that week to get that calf right, because let's just say you play him versus the Rams and what isn't even a must-win for your team, and he goes, drains it or fully pulls it, now you lost him for the playoffs. Now you're looking at a whole different scenario. So I
Freemason.
No matter what, McCaffrey wasn't going to play week 18.
But now I was just saying Freemason.
Yeah.
Freemason.
No, but I'm just saying now.
I feel like
Detroit now, instead of having potentially 2 home games, now they're on the road in the second round of the playoffs.
I feel like if you want to go outside of everything I said, I think you can also go down the conspiracy route, which I kind of sit on sometimes. And it's like the NFL, like I said it for a long time, the NFL's rigged. They try to do things to maneuver games and to position teams to get to where they want them to be, because they have to look at who's going to make the most money at the end of the day. And with shit like that, and the NFL doesn't come out and say, oh, hey, this guy's going to get fined $100,000. Like, if there was some financial repercussion for an officiant to get something right, like they would do their job every time, but there's not. And the NFL doesn't come out and say, oh, he was wrong, we're going to do this, and this. There's nothing you can do to fix that. That's human error, right? You can't fix human error when it depends on human interaction. Like, he needs to watch, he needs to be on time. What are they going to do? Put some machine a machine will do it. Cool, but you can rig the machine just like the humans. You pay him off, or you just don't give him any consequence, which is what the problem is here. There's no consequence, and so the NFL, I don't know if it's rigged, but it's just blatant. Just like the Raiders call. The Raiders
I want to go back to what you guys were saying earlier too, talking about the 68 reporting eligible, but the ref said, oh, it was 70. If you watch the video, 70 is 5 yards away from where they're even at. Yeah, he was nowhere even close.
So how does he get? That's how you know. Like, it makes you think. Like,
And was he even looking in that direction? I don't know.
Yeah,
The video I saw, he wasn't even looking in that direction. So how would he know?
How would you know? Yeah,
There's a clip. There's a still shot where the ref is looking at 68 and 70 is off to the left, and he's still 4 yards away off to the left somehow.
Yeah,
but on the flip side of that, if 70 was never reporting eligible, why is 70 even running over towards the ref?
That's what I was just
Stay the fuck away from the ref because you don't even get involved in that picture at all. If you're reporting eligible, only that one player needs to go and report. Because even when 70 or even when 68 went to go report, there was another player next to him with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
whatever. It is what it is.
Well, this also goes, remember years ago, the Saints and Rams, that PI that got missed?
Oh.
I still don't understand.
And the NFC Championship, right?
Yeah. And the Rams went on to the Super Bowl because of that call. Now, we don't know if they would have won the game off of that or what would end up happening, but it's the fact that it was so blatantly. And this is the same ref crew. Do you remember the Green Bay, Kansas City, that PI at the end of the game that got missed that gave Green Bay the win?
Yep.
Same reffing crew. Same exact crew.
Yeah, they said this is like the third time that they've had big errors in games this year.
I don't know about it being rigged, but in close games,
fire them all. Like fire them all, dude.
It comes down to betting, I think. Honestly, like it's been NBA. Whenever Tim Donaghy, early 2000s, close games. They refs can decide a win or a loss throughout the game. Missed call here, not a call there, and by the time you know it's a one possession game. Okay, now we got to keep the point spread here. Let's make this call. It's just. It's sad, dude. It's unfortunate. Shit happens. It could be happening. Who knows?
It's the same thing in the Super Bowl. Look at that really bad call that gave Kansas City the win.
That hold?
Yeah. Just I don't know. I feel like when it's inside the 2 minutes, just like they do with turnovers, touchdowns, everything, I think there needs to be some type of replays to where if it's blatantly missed by the referees and it's going to have a huge, dictation on the game itself, the way it's going to end up finishing, I think it needs to be checked. It needs to be.
They won't. That's the thing. It's because they won't. Why? They'll lose control of the games. They want that control of the games so that they can manipulate it in their favor. It's what they do.
And let's not forget, this is a week after Mr. The Dallas owner, why am I forgetting? Jerry Jones sent the videos explaining how Parsons has held every single play, how they're missing all this, and Parsons went on this podcast and blah, 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 cry me a river, and then now they get this huge call that goes their way. Don't know if that was on accident either.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like I'm losing respect for the game. Period. I think this year is definitely making me lose respect for the game. It's because of the officiating, man. Like it happened to the Raiders this weekend too. Like, come on, brother. He was not offside. It was a perfectly timed snap. Everyone's watched the video. Like it's been played over and over again. Everyone's like, he was not offside.
Check this out. I know there's challenges. Should the NFL do what the NBA does? Allow one challenge for fouls.
Nah, fuck that. Keep your challenges. I was gonna say that next, Matt. I was gonna say
I like what the NBA does.
Not even this 2 minutes. You need to be able to challenge anything, whether you think it should be a penalty or whether you think the penalty shouldn't be.
It'll take too long. One challenge for a penalty that's blatant, and if you have it and you challenge it, and it can get overturned.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. How willing are you to maintain the integrity of the game? That's my perspective. How willing is the NFL? How far is the NFL willing to go to maintain the integrity of the game? Because suspending some players for gambling is not going to put on the image that there's integrity when you got NFL refs rigging games. Like it's as simple, whether they intended to or not, the game is going in not how it should be. Period.
Well, okay, but if you're going to go that far, it goes way beyond football. Like no matter there's air like baseball. I can't. Yeah, like it depends on who is behind the plate is going to dictate the strike zone, like in baseball. Who was his name from years ago? The Tigers pitcher that
Anibal Sanchez.
Yeah,
perfect game going. Tony, dude hits a ground ball. He is out. This was the last out. It was going to be a perfect game, no hitter. Like, dude calls him safe,
and he's out by a step.
Then this was before they brought in
challenging,
right? I mean, watching it live, I was like, oh, no hitter. Dude, just go safe. And everyone's just like, what the fuck? So human error is going to happen regardless. And even something that has that's a big time miss. It's just going to happen. But at
It
the
should
same
be reviewable.
when something is that obvious, the NFL really does. They need to come out and make a statement, like a true.
And they're not. That's my biggest problem and my biggest
pushing
tell.
under the rug.
They are not. That's my biggest tell. That's something that they don't care, or that's what they want to happen. Is they want these wrong calls or calls that are not calls. I guess you could say wrong calls or no calls. They want these things to happen because it helps them rig the games. That's my perspective.
I think my mic was muted, Scott. It was Anibal Sanchez.
Yeah, Anibal Sanchez. Yeah, there you
but
go.
yeah, no, he was out by like a step.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Angel Hernandez.
You want to go looking at a couple of other sports that use VAR. You have soccer with all the offsides calls, even going to tennis on whether a ball's in or out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the NFL is the fucking highest grossing sports, whatever you would say, organization in the world, and the technology is not there. Doesn't make sense.
Why it's not there? Because they don't need to change anything. Because you just said it. They're still going to make their money no matter what. They're going to make their money.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's all that matters.
They need to lose, and I used what happened with the Raiders this season as something that needs to happen on a major scale with all teams. Like what the Raiders did is we got McDaniels fired because the Raiders were not showing up to games. I was reading a lot of people were hating. Like it was the fans that made Mark Davis like, look, you fire that motherfucker or we're bouncing. Yeah, it was bad, but he did it because he was pressured to by the fans.
Yeah, like, without the fans, he has no money coming in.
Without the fans, he has no money coming in. The fans need to make the NFL either show their hand and say, look, we're fucking up, or do something, man. Like it's that simple. We're not gonna go to games anymore. Watch games. Like it just makes me not want to be interested in the NFL. It's just like this gonna happen.
Yeah,
what for? It's all rigged.
Well, the other part that makes me laugh out of this game, CeeDee Lamb goes off for a monster 13 for 227 and a touchdown and is randomly drug tested afterwards.
Really? No, that's just never random.
It never fails. You have a player go off on a monster game and they get drug tested. Who was the other one? Was it Jordan Addison that happened to a few weeks ago?
Yeah. So check this out. Long story short, Chad Johnson and what's his name? I forget. Shannon Sharp. They had their podcast, right? And then it's the same thing. Shannon Sharp said he went off. Blah blah. Or Chad Johnson said he went off like over 200 yards to get piss tested right after the game. He's like, I was on that. What did he say? I was on that GDM.
Half a pill of Viagra.
No, it's another story. He's like, I was on that GDM, Unc. He's like, what the hell is GDM? He's like, I was on that goddamn McDonald's. That's my cholesterol was so high. That's why I was going off.
Dude, that guy's crazy. All right. So enough with that, guys. I kind of want to have a little conversation about playoffs coming up. So outside of the number one seeded teams, you have the Niners and you have the Ravens. Coming out of AFC, guys, who is one team that you would not want to play right now going into the first round? Tony, AFC
outside of the one seed?
By far Cleveland.
Yeah, I was
by far Cleveland.
Damn, dude, I was gonna say that right now. Mike, you beat me to it. I would say, look, Cleveland is gonna win the Super Bowl. I'm calling it again. I'm changing it again because I found these stories. This season is so wild that the fucking Browns are going to win the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, and he's going to wreck the team that let him go, that he won a Super Bowl with.
You want to know who Flacco beat last time he was in the Super Bowl? The Niners.
Can I give you the Niners again? But he has to beat the Ravens to get there, and I think he's going to beat the Ravens, and I think he's going to win the Super Bowl because he deserves it. Fucking savage.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the sad thing is, if they beat the number 4 seed, they're gonna have to go against Baltimore, second round.
Who? So Browns?
Browns. So you won't have the two hottest teams in the championship.
No, because what if a higher or lower seed wins? What if the 2 gets upset? The 2 or the 3 gets upset, then it wouldn't happen like that.
You think Miami gets upset by Indy or Houston?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Well, actually, Waddle's hurt and then lost Bradley Chubb.
If Houston makes it, I can see Houston making some noise in the first round.
They'll make some noise first. They will put up a fight.
Xavier Howard's hurt with the foot, like Mike said. Bradley Chubb's out. Mostert's nicked up. I mean,
by the way, what was Chubb doing in the game when they were down by 30?
Ask Mike McDaniels with his sweatsuit, whatever the hell he's wearing. His off-white Nikes.
Hey, did you guys hear what Mike McDaniels told what's Dan Marino on the sidelines?
Mm-mm.
You watched the video?
Oh, yeah.
Damn, you saw that video, Scott? He's standing on the sidelines at the beginning of the game, and Dan Marino is standing there in his gold jacket, and he's just like waving at everybody, whatever. And McDaniels is behind him saying, "We're coming for your records, Dan. Fuck your records, Dan." She was funny.
Okay, I do want to talk about the Dolphins for a minute. And I think the Dolphins is going to be a one and done. And I actually think it's because of McDaniels. I think McDaniels is too loose of a coach. Yeah. I think it's good to be a loose coach and have fun with your guys. But dude can never give like a serious answer at a press conference. He can never not be goofing around or joking around. Like I get it. He's turned the Dolphins around and they're playing great. But there has to be, you got to have some type of like, okay, guys, it's time to get this shit.
Time.
And he doesn't have that, and it showed versus the Ravens. I mean, they looked worse than the Niners did. The Niners had fucking 5 turnovers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's clear that I really believe I really didn't. This is why I was telling you, Mike, the Browns may not play the Ravens because I really believe Miami can lose in the first round, especially if Otto is banged up.
I'm looking here. Dolphins have only beat 2 playoff teams.
Yeah, they beat Dallas.
They got blown out by the Bills 48-20. They lost to the Eagles 31-17. They lost to the Chiefs 21-14. They beat the Cowboys by 2, and they got blown out by the Ravens 56-19.
They've only beat 2 teams with a winning record this year.
They've only beat 1 playoff team.
1. They are literally the AFC Dallas Cowboys is what they.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah, the Cowboys are the AFC.
That's they're just better than the Cowboys.
Yeah. So it would not surprise me to see the Dolphins lose, but let's not forget they may not even be the higher seed. They have a great chance to lose to the Bills this upcoming week. Mm-hmm. The Bills have been playing a little bit better. I know they didn't put up.
I'm excited for this week. I think this is the most active. Most consequential Week 18 game of the past few seasons. Well, since it started.
Yeah,
at the end of the season, it's like, okay, everyone's set. We know who it is. Games.
I do like 2-3 years ago, I think it was when the NFL switched it to all of the final games of the season are divisional games. It makes it so that there's more games that there's more on the line.
Yeah. So that's it with the AFC. What do you guys think about the NFC? Who's a team you guys like outside of the number 1 seed? Who's a team you guys maybe don't want to see, or maybe like a sneaky team?
You said it earlier.
Rams.
That's kind of tough. Yeah, Rams.
Dude, I like the Rams, but I don't think they're going to win. Like, they're going to put up a fight, but we all know who's going to go for the NFC.
Have you watched the Rams last 6 weeks?
Oh yeah, they're good.
They're good.
They're great.
I'm not saying that they're not good, but the Niners are just great.
Yeah, but it was the same thing with the AFC. We know the Ravens are probably going to end up going to the Super Bowl. I really don't. I mean, the Niners have already proven they can beat all the top teams in the NFC. They already beat the shit out of Dallas and Philadelphia, and they're probably like outside of the Lions. They're the only 2 teams that really think about it. But I think the Rams. I think if the Rams were to play someone like Detroit in the first round, dude, I could see them beating Detroit. I do.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
I do think they would in a very tight game in Dallas, and that's why I think they're going to end up playing their starters because the Niners are going to play their backups. We already know that. So the Rams are probably going to get a win this week, and I think they're going to end up keeping the number 6 seed, which means they're going to play the number 3 seed, which is going to be the Lions. I could see the Rams going into Detroit and winning that game. I really could, because they have the weapons to beat up on that Lions secondary, which, like you just said, CeeDee Lamb went off. So if they can't stop CeeDee Lamb, how are they going to stop Cooper Kupp and freaking Puka? They're not. And Kyrie Williams is running out fucking mind right now, and Matthew Stafford's been playing great because the offensive line last year played like shit. They're playing great. The Rams are the team I would not want to see at least in the first round. I think come second round, I don't think they make it out of the second round. I think whoever does play them is still going to be up in for a really tough matchup. But I'm telling you guys, I can see the Rams beating the Lions.
That's the only team outside of the top 3 in the NFC. Really, it's top heavy in the NFC over there.
So Rams are 6-1 in their last 7. Their only loss is that overtime loss to the Ravens on that punt return for a touchdown.
Dude, they
and that includes beating the Browns in that stretch.
Yeah, the Rams right now are no joke. They're fully healthy. The one thing about the Rams though is they've kind of struggled on deep passes versus them. Jared Goff's probably got a pretty damn good arm. The Lions do have some pretty quick wide receivers, but I'm just speculating that's gonna be the Rams and is gonna end up being the Lions. But the Eagles, I know they're probably gonna end up being the 5 seed. And guys, I do want to talk about them a little bit because Nick Sirianni is not the coach I think everyone thought he was. I think he really got carried by really good coordinators last year, and it's showing now because think about it. I can't remember his name, but the offensive coordinator for
Nick
the Eagles
Sirianni
gone to the Colts, and
Yep.
they're not missing a beat with freaking
Minshew.
Like the offensive scheme, like think about this. Okay, what was it? It was 3rd and 20 with the game on the line. They call a screenplay to the outside that got no yards. Run 1st and 20, you run. 2nd and 20, you run. 3rd and 20, you do some stupid play. It's a lot of questioning as to what's going on over there in Philadelphia. They don't have the defense to stop anyone. The offense, I don't even know. I can't tell you what the offense is because I don't know. You watch them one week and it's like Jalen Hurts is the main running back. Then you watch them and they're trying to throw the ball and he can't throw it. And on top of that, they lost Devontae Smith to an ankle sprain. I think that's going to hurt them significantly.
Yeah, he left in a walking boot and crutches.
Yep.
But I shouldn't say lucky. I think if they were played the Bucks in Tampa Bay, I think they lose that game.
They could, yeah. I can see that.
I really believe that could happen.
I saw a comment on one of the posts. I forget where it was, but somebody made a comment and they're saying that the 49ers literally broke the Eagles.
Yeah.
Think about all their losses after that game.
They did. I can see that. That technically, the Niners were the Eagles' first challenge of the season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Niners beat them 42-9.
No, they beat Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City's.
We
can get to them later on.
Yeah,
Man.
don't even use that as like, they had a challenge. They fucking
and they beat the Bills in overtime. But again, Kansas City and the Bills, it's a coin flip what team shows up.
Yeah.
But Eagles lost to the Niners 42-19. Eagles lost to the Cowboys 33-13. Eagles lost to the Seahawks, and Eagles just lost to the Cardinals.
Not only did they lose to the Seahawks, they didn't even lose to a Geno Smith-led Seahawks either.
Mm-hmm. What was it Drew Lock?
Yeah. And if it wasn't for a 99-yard pick six, it never would have come down to the end of the game against the Cardinals.
Now, Cardinals, I understand that they have a losing record, but the Cardinals, dude, they play hard every game. They do. Don't forget they beat Dallas. Don't forget.
I think the Cardinals will be good next season.
They're messing up their draft slot, man.
They have 4 wins, and they have a win against Dallas, and they win against the Eagles.
The Chicago Bears have been messing up their draft spot.
Yeah, I don't know what the Bears are doing, man. You guys
Bears are looking at it that they already got the number 1 pick because of the Panthers, but they could have had the number 2.
I know we're talking about. Okay, well, never mind. We'll talk about that after.
We're going to talk about next week once the playoffs are over. We're going to talk about
season's over.
Yeah, we're talking about some season-ending stuff. I want to get into that whole Justin Fields debate because I'm pretty sure all 4 of us are going to have probably a lot different speculations as to what's going to happen with that. But who do you guys have in that Chicago Packers game? Because Packers lose, they're out. They win, they could be in. But Chicago, like I said, they're playing really good. It's in Green Bay. Jordan Love is playing really good. Actually, he's had quite the season. He's now 30 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. He looked good this last week.
First 6 weeks was slow, man. He's looking great, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Really great. He's good.
Out of his
he's the Jordan Love we thought should have been there in the beginning of the season, but he wasn't. I think it just took a long time to develop.
Is it going to happen again where Favre leaves, Rodgers takes over, becomes an all-pro? Rodgers leaves, now Love's going to be all-pro? Or
it's like a Green Bay story.
So
and then he's got to go to the Jets.
So somebody did a side-by-side comparison, and actually Aaron Rodgers' first full starting season and Jordan Love's identical, almost across the board. Their completion percentage is identical. Yards was identical. The only thing that was slightly off is Jordan is 30 and 11, and Aaron Rodgers was 28 and 13. So he's slightly better, but everything else was just like it's even across the board. So he really is playing like how Aaron Rodgers was his first full season. I don't think anyone questioned how good Aaron Rodgers was going to end up being after that.
I think
that's crazy.
After an article I read, or like an hour and a half ago, it's tough to say who's going to win that game because I think the Bears should not screw up their draft capital. But I think that Fields himself is trying to play the best football that he can to set himself up for next year because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know whether they're going to draft a quarterback or go with Fields or trade Fields. And I have this fucking stupid article, man. It just hurts my head when people say these things. I'm like, how dense can you be? They really wrote that they feel that Fields' market value is $47 million a year. And I had a heart attack. I'm like, do we watch the same football? Like, what is your... What? It's just crazy. It's absolutely nuts. I'm like, and if Fields is reading that, well, I'm gonna fucking play because I'm gonna get my money.
If Daniel Jones can get it,
yeah, but that's the problem. Like the NFL's fucked if they pay him that much. Like he needs to earn it, which he hasn't. Albeit he's been hurt, blah 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 blah. But you need to have fucking something under your belt to earn 40, and which Daniel Jones did not have. The Giants set the worst precedent in the world. Done.
Yeah. So if Fields were to beat Green Bay this upcoming weekend and knock the Packers out of the playoffs, you know what kind of hero he's going to be in Chicago? They were already chanting his name this last. The fans want to keep Fields. And I think if he knocks out Green Bay out of the playoffs, I think Chicago's going to have a hard time letting him go. I really what they should honestly do is if Harrison Jr. Declares for the draft, I'm not trading the number one pick. I'm taking Harrison with the number one pick. I'm solidifying.
You can get him at 3, no?
No. Well,
yeah, the 2 top picks would be quarterbacks, Drake May and
Arizona's not going.
I think they're sticking with Kyler.
No, Arizona's not 2 right now, are they?
Actually, now that they win, I think New England.
Let me check.
Yeah, New England ain't taking a wide receiver.
No, New England's taking a quarterback. Let's just be real. If Williams is there, New England is 1,000% going to take it because there's going to be a new coach in New England, and he is not going to pass on what he believes is probably going to be a franchise quarterback.
No, it's Washington.
I'm sure the Raiders would be happy if he took Jimmy G back.
Washington ain't taking a receiver either.
Washington.
No, they're taking a quarterback too. They already lost.
So what's the Bears' next pick after
10,
the first?
1 and 10.
Oh, okay.
They have one from the Panthers and then whatever their own pick is.
No, so I think
going back, Tony, to what you said about the $47 million for average annual value for
Fields.
You know where that puts him?
Fucking like 4th, top 6 for sure.
That would put him 6th.
That's
just above. So it would be Burrow 1, Herbert 2, Lamar Jackson 3, Hurts 4, Russell Wilson 5, Kyler Murray 6. And then underneath him would be Deshaun Watson, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Stafford.
I see Mahomes, like Watson.
Hold on, you guys want to hear this crazy shit? Mike, go one by one off of that.
For what?
Just name the names slow.
Joe Burrow.
Okay, he's worth the money. Go.
Herbert.
How many playoff wins does Herbert have?
None.
Go.
I think he's worth it, but
I think he's worth it too. But that's a conversation for another time. I'm not going to knock on the kid that much.
Who's number 3?
Lamar Jackson.
Okay, and he just signed that contract.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
No.
And I'm not. And keep in mind, this is not total value. This is average annual per year.
50-50, but no, probably not.
No, I don't. No, he's not. I don't think he is, and he's proving that this year. It was the coordinator, like
$51 million.
Who?
Golly.
Hurts.
Keep going.
Russell Wilson.
No, fuck no.
The free agent?
Yeah. You mean the benched guy that's making $48.5 million?
Fuck, bro.
Where's Watson?
Kyler Murray 46, Deshaun Watson. Kyler Murray 46.1, Deshaun Watson 46.
Again, they're shit in the playoffs. They haven't done anything to earn this money. This is what I'm trying to get. Like, less than half of those guys are capable of taking your team to the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm trying to say, Scott. Like, so if they pay Fields that much money, I'll like at a certain point, I'm just gonna quit watching the NFL. Like, it's just dumb. Like, you're just stupid.
I think we won't see his full potential until he gets two great receivers. Like, if they can get Marvin Harrison Jr. with DJ Moore, then we can probably see his potential. But
I agree. I don't think he's
number
one.
You guys want to hear fun fact? 6. Just they're talking about Joe Flacco. I went to go see how much Deshaun Watson's dead cap would be if they cut him this offseason. $200 million.
Wait, what?
Go look. It's on Sports Track. $200 million dead cap hit if they were to cut him.
Fuck it.
So they're not cutting him. Fuck it, blaze it out.
YOLO.
Well, hey.
Flacco off the couch, dude.
For him right fucking now.
Oh, my God. This is...
I'm just saying, if Flacco, would you be cool with playing for $500,000 or sitting on the couch? You know what I mean? I don't know. And Russell Wilson, what are the Broncos going to do? Like, Russell Wilson, another guy where he carries a huge dead cap space, and they're talking about moving on from him.
Well, Matt and I actually
that would put them back over 2 years, dude.
Matt and I talked about this, naming teams that could use a quarterback next year. We listed off, I think there was like 4.
4 for sure. Yeah.
Raiders.
Okay.
Raiders, Washington, Patriots.
Gotta be more than 4.
Yeah. I don't think
he's not going back to Seattle. There's nobody else on the West Coast.
Raiders.
Besides, okay, you have the Raiders. You have the Falcons.
Yeah.
Here, look at
Patriots, Washington, and who was the other team?
Maybe
the Bucks. The Bucks, depending on what they decide to do with the.
No, not maybe the Steelers. The Steelers need a quarterback.
And you had the Bucks, depending on what they want to do with Baker Mayfield.
No, I think the Bucks stick with Mayfield.
I think they resign him. I think, you know what? Not think. I could maybe Atlanta should be like, hey, we'll throw you like a 4th or 5th round pick for Wilson, and we'll take on that money.
They need to go in on Fields. I would with those weapons.
Yeah, I think Fields is the answer. What sucks for Wilson is a lot of like somebody's gonna pay for him, and I hope it's not the Raiders, bro. People are like, it's so funny because all the fans and people that I follow that are reading that talk about all this shit. No one wants Russell Wilson on the Raiders.
He's a locker room nightmare. Like he literally is a cancer in the locker room. And I did not include Minnesota on that list because both Matt and I feel that Kirk Cousins comes back for 1 year with Minnesota.
That's what I've been saying.
Do you think his Achilles is going to be healed up enough? He's not Aaron Rodgers.
He'll be fine. Yeah, get some ayahuasca in there.
He'll call Aaron Rodgers.
But we are starting to kind of get close to the end of an era for a lot of these quarterbacks.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Kirk Cousins is a guy that's probably not going to be playing much longer.
We're fucking old.
Russell Wilson could be another guy that's not going to play much longer.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't think he's going to get another starting job after this season. Mac Jones is going to be out of here.
But you know what? Joe Flacco gives me hope for that nostalgic feeling in like 10 years. Somebody's going to come out and be like, oh, I can still play and ball out, bro. And it's going to be like this greatest nostalgic feeling in like 10 years on some random team. They're going to be a 15th string quarterback that comes out and saves the day. And we're going to be in this situation again, right? Like Joe Flacco, left field, taking the Broncos to monstrous strides.
The Broncos, huh?
I mean, the Browns. Start with the B, same thing, dude. I'm tired.
Broncos, man.
Bengals.
Hey, don't forget Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's how he ended like the last 3 years of his career. He just sat on the couch, waited for an injury to happen, and he went and just
balled out.
Oh, I love Fitzpatrick.
The guy that ended up playing for half the team in the NFL.
Hey, he would just sling. He would drop back 5-step drop, and is like, "Who am I slinging this fucking big skin to? Who's open?"
Yeah,
dude, and his fucking beard hanging out underneath his helmet.
Yeah.
So, Tony, I think you wanted to, before we go, I think you wanted to touch on your opinion on what's going to happen with the Raiders?
Yeah, with the Raiders, man. Because I'd like to get your guys' opinion on Harbaugh from the Niners' perspective, from a Niner fans' perspective who were there. I think, okay, my opinion, there's two choices, right? It's keep AP or go Harbaugh. And I'm a keep AP guy. And that's like, I'm a hardcore keep AP guy, and that's because of the culture he's created in the locker room. And the only argument really is that Harbaugh is a seasoned coach. He's proven he can win. And then you got AP, who everyone's like, oh, he's got a lot to learn. Then fucking let him learn. The Raiders have fucked up in the past two coaches. You signed experience-worthy Gruden and Super Bowl winning McDaniels, and all of a sudden, and they were just, now we have this fucking carrying this fucking weight of money bags that we have to pay them every season for the next few seasons. And you're gonna do it again with Jim Harbaugh. And what if it doesn't work out, right? What if it doesn't work out? I've heard things about Harbaugh. He's a hard coach. People like he does, like it's not the
players.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't create a culture of the Raiders from when I look at it. He doesn't. That's just my perspective. And I know he's 49-22-1 in the NFL. Whatever, it is what it is. He's good. He wins. He proves he can win. But is it what we want? I don't think so.
Before Scott Mike can attest to it, they're Niner fans. But from what last year was in the NFL that he wore down the locker room in Frisco.
Yeah.
After I guess he doesn't have certain words or certain way with grown men. I guess a lot of guys said like they rubbed them the wrong way. These guys are making millions of dollars and they're coming at him sideways. I guess I don't know. I just heard he overstayed his welcome in Frisco. That's why he won it. So
yeah, he's very hard nosed and he's very stubborn. It's Harbaugh way or the highway. He's kind of like Belichick, I guess you could say in that matter. My personal opinion, I think this was going to happen. I think Harbaugh stays in Michigan, and I think you guys signed AP. Now, if you guys do this with AP, I don't think you sign him to a long-term deal. I think you just give him a deal. Tell him like, look, it's just we've been making mistakes with these long-term deals. We want to make sure on both sides that this is the right fit. So we're going to give you a 2-year deal. We're not going to just be a one and done. We're going to give you 2 years to prove that maybe you can start turning it around. He doesn't necessarily have to turn the Raiders necessarily into a playoff team immediately, but there has to be some type of signs of growth within that team. From what it seems like from the outside, from a non-Raiders fan, it seems like the Raider players have really taken a liking to him, which is, I think, the first time I've heard that in a long, long time. I know Chucky was there for a while, but who the fuck doesn't like him? He doesn't count.
FYI, Mark Davis is going to bring back Gruden in some capacity. I just read that today.
I could see it happen. Front office job.
Front office job or some type of coaching position, not head coach, but just like
make him a scout.
Like, and you know what? When I read that gave me hope that he is going to pick AP as a coach, because whether AP likes Gruden or likes Gruden's coaching style, Gruden can still teach him a thing or two about how to coach a team. And I think that's something that he could be using him as a mentor.
Yeah, I agree with Scott on the whole 2-year deal, especially if AP has got the locker room behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Davis sees that.
Yep.
You know, obviously Davis saw what happened with McDaniels. He listened to the fans. And if he's opening his eyes and sees what's going on, I think what did any of us have the Raiders? I think, Tony, you had the Raiders like 5 wins or something when we did all
I had
our
them at 3.
Yeah, I think I had them at like 3. They're sitting at 7 wins right now. So they've already exceeded all of what our projections or expectations were.
He should just get
like I said, he's got the locker room behind him.
Yeah, he should just get the job based off what the hell where we were middle of the season to now.
Yeah,
like the players are playing, man. Like if we had a capable quarterback with this defense, like the defense, Tony, what a thought, huh?
You need to keep Patrick Graham at all costs. That's what your goal is. And if Harbaugh comes in, Graham is gone. Yeah, you need to keep Patrick Graham at all costs. Yeah. That is the bottom line, in my opinion. And I think Mark Davis sees that, because he fucked up when Bisaccia got let go over for McDaniels. He sees how bad of that an issue that was. So hopefully he's learned his lesson and he's going to go with AP. I think AP deserves a shot. I think I agree with what you said, Scott. He needs like a 1-2 year deal, like a 2-year deal. Just like, see what you can do. And if he can bring in the staff that can help him be better, he needs an offensive coordinator. I think this team would be fucking steamrolling like we would have not fucking lost to the Vikings. We would have not lost to the fucking Colts. And we would have not, what else did we lose to? I forgot already. But if we had a good offensive coordinator, and I do not dog.
You guys lost by 7 to the Dolphins.
Yeah, to the Dolphins, right? I don't dog. What's his name? Bo Hardegre or Hardegre? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Hardegre. Mm-hmm. I don't knock him. He was thrust into this position just like AP was, but I think AP is a leader, and I don't think Bo is. I think Bo has a lot more to learn, and as the offensive coordinator, it wasn't gelling for him. So he has a lot more to learn. So I think if we get an experienced offensive coordinator and keep Patrick Graham, AP at the helm, AP learning what he needs to, this team's going to be rolling, man.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with Matt. I think you guys are just a quarterback away. Going back, I know we talked a little bit about Minshew just for a second. I think a team that'd
be nice for us.
Even Atlanta, the Raiders, I think he'd be a great fit and with the weapons that these teams offer, you know what I mean? And I think Minshew could be in for a trade and a payday after, especially if the Colts make the playoffs. He's got the experience, and I don't mean signing him to a long-term deal. I mean, I think if Atlanta maybe was able to land him in a trade, I think maybe send Desmond Ridder, just send him off, just trade him, so that way he can back up Richardson over there in Indy and give Minshew another opportunity to start. I mean, with Atlanta, they got all the weapons. I think Arthur Rhodes is going to be gone. They have a lot of weapons. They're also, I feel, a decent coach who knows what to do with
on offense.
That he has. I mean, come on, man. You got Drake London. You got Kyle Pitts. You got freaking Beacon. Like the weapons are there. They have a decent defense. The weapons. That team is in place.
Offensive line.
Yeah, they have the pieces in place. I just think that they're missing a competent coach and a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So,
hey, quick question before we end it. Yes or no? Is Travis Kelce done?
Yes.
No. Oh shit. All right.
Yes. Why? Taylor Swift destroyed him.
He's slowing down. Have you seen the tape? He does not look like himself.
Hey, I saw somebody make a comment the other day or post something the other day that Taylor Swift was publicly as an Eagles fan, all decked out in Eagle stuff. What if she was sent there by the Eagles to destroy the Chiefs from the inside out?
No way his brother sent him over there.
Oh, damn.
What would you do if you're Travis Kelce and you found out your brother did that on the podcast together?
Hey, Nat, what are you guys going to do at quarterback? You guys keep AOC?
No. Well, he backs up. He's a good backup. I say backup.
Now, what about your boy, Matt, from Washington?
Nope, not Penix.
Sam Howell.
No.
Sam Howell.
Oh, Sam
Howell. Not Sam Howell. Nah. Oh, Washington Commanders. I thought you were Washington.
I think he's still going to get another shot in Washington.
No. Yeah, I think if I was Sam Howell, I'd leave Washington if I could. The offensive line has been atrocious. Dude, the dude can't even freaking drop back 3 steps without freaking 6 defensive linemen already on top of him. It's been terrible. He's shown promise. Like, he's not a bad quarterback. He's just constantly being hit, and he's starting to get a little bit of happy feet in there. He's another guy I think that would
good.
Help pretty well.
He needs to go somewhere with a better line that he can get his confidence back.
So what I will say this, what I want to see happen is the Raiders don't give up the fucking house for a quarterback at the top. They may move up from right now. They're sitting at 11. It could move up or down slightly, but if they move up, I can see them moving up with Tennessee or Arizona in that top 10 to get Daniels. Or what is his name? Yeah, Daniels, right? Jaden Daniels, is that his name?
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, from Arizona. You know what I've noticed, and this obviously I'm basing it off of one instance, but like the players that have that experience with AP want to play for AP, and Daniels wants to play for AP. Look at Jack Jones balling out, and I think that's what Daniels. I think we can move up to him. If we don't move up to him, then we need to go trade for Fields or somebody else. Like we need to get a competent quarterback. Anybody. I think if we had right now, AOC is like he's like a D or maybe a C minus in
Just
terms of rating. But if we get a quarterback that's like even a B plus rating, man, we're in the playoffs for sure.
We'll see. Anyways, I think that's pretty good for today. Wouldn't you guys say?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Well, we'll be back next week. We'll do another one after this last week. We'll talk playoffs and stuff like that. So, with that said, thank you for joining in.
3 or 4 next week?
What?
Asking this guy.
Oh,
it'll be the three of us.
Another month off. It's approved, right, Scotty? You can prove it.
Prove what?
My vacation.
No.
Oh, you're getting another operation?
Yeah, you gotta plug up the butthole.
Now he's resting. So, anyways, all right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Adios.
See ya.
All right, see you guys.